Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for Saturday, August 31st, 2024. We're going to start by looking at the lower 48 National Weather Service hazards here. As you can see, it's a beautiful Saturday for the majority of the country. Not much going on. Cloudy skies, some overcast skies, some hot temperatures here. This is actually tomorrow begins the first day of meteorological fall, September the 1st. Of course, later on we have the actual fall equinox, September 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. But in the meantime, we're looking at highlighted in orange, the Pacific Northwest, the PNW. You guys have a heat advisory in the central Willamette Valley of Oregon, as well as the eastern Washington and just east of the Cascades there. In the Cascades itself, there is red flag warning, so you want to be careful coming through Snoqualmie Pass, Whites Pass, Stevens Pass, those passes up there. There's red flag warning, no burning and stuff like that allowed. But in the orange there, in the light orange, we have a heat advisory. As it continues to be hot in areas like Walla Walla, Spokane, the Stovepipe of Idaho, down through the central valleys of Oregon there, past the gorges there on I-80. So maybe hot there in Baker, Oregon, and places Baker City, Oregon, and places like that. Outside of that, we have just a slight little severe thunderstorm warning here. This is for areas north of Danville and Mount Airy. So if you come along I-77 there from Mount Airy, North Carolina, into Danville, Virginia, there is severe thunderstorm warning in orange there for that county. That should be expiring within the next hour. And then we have slight little areas of flash flood warnings in the Laurel Highlands of Pennsylvania there, just south of Pittsburgh, and also Binghamton and the Finger Lakes, just south there of I-99 there on the Pennsylvania-New York borderline. And that's pretty much all we have here going on in the country here as far as it has. It's a pretty quiet day. Now, to the tropics we go. Things have been quiet here in the Atlantic as we continue to see. We had two areas of development here. One's given a medium chance of development in 7 days as it gets toward the western Caribbean and maybe conducive to have a tropical depression there. So that'll be like later on this week, probably about Thursday or Friday next week in the western Caribbean. We could have something develop that could be getting closer to being the next named storm of Francine. Elsewhere, this little patch of low pressure here, kind of a low pressure gyre in northwestern Gulf of Mexico. This has a 20% chance of development. It's going to linger near the coast, so since it's going to be interacting with land and providing rains, it's just going to provide flash flooding for coastal Louisiana, Lake Charles, Beaumont, and those areas to the east of Houston for the next few days. So it's going to be just a rainmaker there. Elsewhere, everything else is quiet. Now, Eastern Pacific, we still do have nothing there for the next 48 hours. So we got rid of all those storms that we had previously with Hector and Hone and Gilbert, but you can see they're still out there. Hone is still a 35 knot tropical storm moving further away from Hawaii, and this little disturbance here came just brought some little showers here to the little islands here west of Honolulu and Waikiki, and there's nothing really big or anything to worry about, so that's good news. Now, looking at the climate change outlook here, we continue to see that temperatures are going to remain below average for the eastern two-thirds of the country. So it's very nice here. It's starting to get to normal to below average temperatures, even down in the panhandle of Florida. Only place it's going to be above average is going to be most of Florida from, let's say, Lake City, Gainesville, south, all the way down to Miami and the Keys here. They're going to remain a little bit slightly above average for the next 6 to 10 days. And then out west, we have that huge omega block pattern there that has broken finally, this kind of ridge and trough pattern, wave pattern here, and we're going to have a ridge out west that's going to provide exceptional heat in the areas of Las Vegas, down through Grand Canyon, up through California and the Central Valley, and all up through Seattle and the PNW, and over towards Denver. It's going to be exceptionally warm for the next 6 to 10 days as far as the temperature outlook goes. So just be cautious of that. But the eastern two-thirds, no problem, just typical summertime activity for the next 2 weeks, or for the next week, I should say, week and a half, and actually extreme below average here, and this blue here for places like Nashville, Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati, Dayton, up towards Cleveland, Toledo, Detroit, Indianapolis, and the Great Lakes, Chicago, Milwaukee, Kenosha, down to St. Louis. All these areas here, Cape Girardeau, Memphis, these areas in this bullseye, Huntsville, Tupelo, and over toward northern Georgia and the western North Carolina, you're going to be experiencing some quite more or less humid weather. That's good news. And the temperature is going to be average around 70 to 80, mid-80s for highs, and that's going to be very comfortable compared to where we were earlier 2 weeks ago with the 90s and 100s that were forecast. So fall is coming, and we want to look out for that. So it's been your Weather Guru update for Saturday night. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode.